All right, Shalom Akim. All praise goes to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kakwadash. Double honor goes to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who've taught us this truth, and much love and peace and blessings goes out to all you hopeful elect brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So it's going to be like a walk and talk lesson, which I'm going to do. Hopefully get these thoughts through the Spirit speak through me to iterate what's, the scene that's I've been observing. And recently you had, which everybody knows about, the Taliban retaking their country of Afghanistan after 20 years of war and foreign occupation by America. Now this is also, well, actually I'll say this before I speak on the next thing. This is a sign of the nations rising against the beast, rising against Esau Edom. Because the American military and all its people represent Esau Edom, the devil, so-called white man. Because this devil goes into everybody's land, basically telling them what to do. Here it is, they were granted sovereignty to be able to do what they want to do on their land, but this devil, like it tells you in the book of Habakkuk, that he basically oppresses men in their own heritage. It's the exact same thing which he did to the Gadites, the Native American so-called Indians, which were here before he actually came here, man. He took their land and also took their culture and their heritage from them to the point where they have quote-unquote Christian names. But as we can see, that type of rhetoric, that influence, that situation has played out all across the earth with all other people. When you think about it, because look at the Chinese, look at the so-called Chinese people, look at the Japanese, look at the Arabs. Their culture is heavily influenced by American culture, by Edomite culture, by the West. But now we see within these past few years, even especially now this year, where there's been a shift to where the nations that have been influenced by America and by the Edomite countries of Europe, that they're not dealing with that no more, because they see the harmful effects and the detrimental effects of following after, American culture, American society. Their women are all out of order, which the women follow after feminism, which tells them to delay motherhood in order to seek a job or a career. So now they're not even being wives or having children in order to work a damn corporate job, in order to be a slave for a corporation. You see what I mean? You have a surplus of women in China who are older, that did the very same thing I'm talking about, and now that they're older, they can't even find a man. Versus them being younger, early 20s, and being easy pickings. Now they can't find a man because they delayed maternity. And it all comes from the West. And now another thing that happened in China recently, they banned effeminate men. They banned effeminate men, which effeminate means to act like a girl. So they banned effeminate men, girly men, off their media. And you know why they did that? Is because they know the effects, how it plays on the psyche of your boys onto your men, because it weakens them. Because a man is supposed to be strong. Your men give your society structure. Your men are your builders, your warriors, your protectors. Okay, your resource providers. That's what men are. They're a hedge. And actually, when you look up the word for brother in Hebrew, which is ach also means a wall. So men, that's what they do. They provide structure for your nation. And that's what the nation begins with. It begins with the men. So if you have men that can't fulfill their role, what do you have? You have a weak society. You have a society that's easy to be manipulated and plundered, just like women are easy to be manipulated and plundered because they don't have the same mental faculties as men. Not one bit, or the same physical prowess as men. So within that, we see, like I mentioned, there's a shift. The nations are waking up. And, this is when you look at it all in all, this is a pretext to war. Because now that the nations realize that they drunk of American philosophy and that it's not beneficial, they pissed off. The Russians are pissed off. The Arabs are pissed off. The Chinese are pissed off. Even down to the Africans, the Hamites, which are like, of all the heathen nations, they're like the lowest on the totem pole. They're the most impoverished. Even they're mad. So we see clearly what's going on, and this is something that is how should I put this? It shows you that the Bible was right all along, because what? Every nation multiplied after the point of the flood during the time of Noah. So be it the Moabites, the Hamites, the Japhites, all these nations came about from a family, Noah's family, who actually knew the law, statutes, and commandments. They knew that you're not supposed to exalt females. They knew that you're not supposed to have effeminate men, homosexual men. You know what I mean? False idolatry and all these different things. But, by process of time and by there being the worst of the heathen being in rulership, the earth has slipped away from the wisdom of the scriptures. And it's because the proper rulers of this earth are not in their stead. And that would be the Israelites, our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Our people aren't ruling. So, this place has went topsy-turvy. But the scriptures also tell you, Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, I believe it's Isaiah, the 29th chapter, that turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. That show you it's happening with the Chinese, man. Because following Esau, Edom's, their guidelines, how their way of life feminized their men. And now they're saying, look, man, we can't be doing this shit to our men. We gotta toughen them up. And a part of the reason why they want their men to be tough right now is because they know down the line war is about to happen. And you can't have war when you got a bunch of weak men in your army, man. Those men ain't gonna be worth anything in combat, in a fight. You know what I mean? So that's very prevalent, man. It's very telling. It shows you the scriptures was right, man. Because Esau, this devil, he didn't turn the earth, man, totally upside down. To the point where, man, it's only one way to go now. It's in the other direction. Because we're at the bottom of the bottom, man. You still got women, so-called feminists, fighting for sexual liberty, man, to be able to do what they want to do, as to say that they're, let's go back this way. Now, as to say that they're, them being restricted to do certain things is oppression. Man, this place is completely gone, man. This place is completely gone. And that's why that was the spirit that men had in them during the time of the Tower of Babel. It said, nothing shall be withholden from men. When all these nations gathered together, meaning they were all wanted to partake in their desires, and they would just get away with doing whatever they wanted to do. And due to that, that's why the Most High He intervened at that time, you know, and he's the Most High is about to intervene again. And how he's about to intervene, in other words, how he's gonna get involved, how he's gonna take action, is he's gonna destroy America, man. America is the very bastion of the wickedness that gets pushed all across the earth, man. You got co-ed schools, man, in this place, man, where boys and girls get educated together. That should not be, because boys and girls, they think different. Little boys and little girls should have a completely different frame of education, you know. So that breeds confusion from the time that you're a youth until you're an adult. You don't know. You don't like, look at these women, man. They're overly masculine. They're depressed, and they don't even know why. It's because they've been brainwashed, indoctrinated by American philosophy. Esau is a horrible ruler. The so-called white man is a horrible, horrible ruler. He looks at the ancient ways and how things have been done for a millennia, and which worked, which got us to, you know, plenty of golden ages, if you will, in civilization, and says, you know what, nah, we shouldn't do it this way. We should switch it up, and let's have all the, you know, all the boys and girls amongst each other. Let's give the women careers and jobs, and they don't have to be mothers anymore, and all this madness. It's madness. The wisdom of the scriptures is the only wisdom. It's the only wisdom whereby life can flourish on earth. That's it. There's no other way. There's no other path. And we're realizing that. And on a certain level, the nations are realizing that, because the scriptures tell you how, if I'm not mistaken, how the nation's grown. You know, the scriptures tell you, "O Lucifer, how hast thou fallen from heaven, which didst weaken the nations?" How did Esau weaken the nations? It wasn't just through warfare, through him attacking them, but the main way he weakened them is with philosophy. Philosophy. Woe unto him that give his neighbor a bottle to drink, so he may see their nakedness. The nakedness means the shame, meaning shameful acts, so you can plunder them. A drunk person is easy to be manipulated, man. And that's exactly what he's done to the nations. He's make them drunk with damn feminism, LGBTQ pride, amongst other things, industrialism, so they can destroy themselves and be a profit to him, so he can get all the resources, man. Hey, so we see things take a tide is turning the earth, and all starts with the prophets, the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which is cleansing the earth of its wickedness. So, Shalom, all praises go to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.